Hey guys, welcome again to this channel. Today I'm taking a walk in Anaheim by some rivers. If you see this way, it's full of water. On this side though, it's kind of dry. So I wanted to talk something that's been on my mind for quite a while, and it's about going sober. So for the past 2 years, I kind of became addicted to weed. And before that, I would take it once in a while, just pretty much whenever I got it offered from someone else. And I went through some really crazy stuff. Like, the first time I ever took it was with some friends, and this was when I was still in college. It was actually after I had a recital at school. Some friends came and then they said they had weed, so I'm like, I guess I'll try it. So that first time was very different. It wasn't that bad, but it just felt like everything was going super slow. Like we were driving towards the restaurant. We were going to Buffalo Wild Wings to sing some karaoke or whatever. But the driver seemed so damn slow. I was saying something like, I feel like we're halfway to Santa Cruz by now, like, which is so random. Because from here to Santa Cruz is around 6-7 hours. So I guess a few minutes felt like 4 hours. So the whole time thing was weird. We finally got to the parking lot. We parked and then started walking to the car. Again, we started walking and it felt like we had walked so long. Then I turned around and the car was like a few feet behind us. And I was saying all this out loud. I'm like, is this how much we've walked so far? Like, I was shocked. Things just didn't make sense to me. Buffalo Wild Wings seems so far away. Almost as far away as the walk I'm making right now towards society over there. That's how long it felt. So once we finally got there, we all got a table. And we were all very quiet. I was listening to these people sing, and their voices really touched me. I'm like, wow, these people are freaking amazing. There was this girl who kept going up there, and I forget what songs she sang, but she was belting out like Christina Aguilera style. Another thing, speaking of music, the songs felt super long and draggy. It was nice when there was a great singer, but when someone who was a bit tone deaf came up, then it was sure a struggle sitting through that. I went up to sing too with a friend. We both came up. And again, once we reached after the first chorus, I thought it should have almost be done. Second verse always came as a surprise. Also, we sang a song that I learned watching Glee. It was Losing My Religion, actually. And then there's a part that came up that I didn't know, because in the Glee version they don't do it. So I was just a very awkward karaoke singer. I guess a normal karaoke singer. I was still in college, so I didn't really do it after that until maybe a year later. Now, this is when I started to get into it. She made these bomb cookies. We would eat one small cookie, and I could just sit on the couch, watch TV, or not do anything. And I would feel like a vibration. It was almost like a mini earthquake, but even though it wasn't actually shaking, it felt that way. Then I felt myself floating. So super meditative. everything I watched on TV or YouTube or music, like everything just felt so meaningful. Like I could really relate to the people, the actors. Their emotions hit me. Like I guess I became a lot more empathetic. At the same time, though, I was able to see who was a good actor and who wasn't. Like someone who was just not good. They looked so awkward and I was cringy. Before weed, I didn't really notice that kind of stuff. Like I would get into the story regardless if they were great actors or not. And then the music again. And I would love to listen to We Found Love by Rihanna. Like I would just close my eyes and I could see each individual instrument doing its own thing. The climaxes of the song, like oof, I really felt them. It was orgasmic, to be honest. And that's when I really started liking it. I didn't always have good trips though. There's one time we smoked before this performance. So it turns out most people thought it would be a concert. It was for Monica Naranjo, which is a Spanish pop singer. And she has a lot of dance music, some ballads. But when we bought tickets, we didn't really know what it would be. Like, there weren't much details. So we just thought it would be a regular concert where she sang all her hits. And everyone else in the theater thought the same thing. Everyone was pretty drunk. They were shouting out requests of music. It turns out, though, that we went to go see a play. I didn't mind because I love plays, I love theater, but I was so high. Since everyone was drunk and everyone thought they would see a concert, they were all disappointed about what was happening on stage. So the theater etiquette was so bad. There were people screaming out the songs they wanted to hear. There was this drunk girl who kept saying the same things over and over again, saying how beautiful she was. Pretty much the requesting of the songs just kept going all night. A lot of people walked out and they were literally screaming like, this concert sucks. Like, wow, the play was happening. It was so bad, so bad. So I started feeling very anxious. I had never felt that way before. Even before we got in, one of our tickets didn't print out right. So it wasn't scanning right. And I started to feel very anxious, like, why is this happening to us? I was almost breaking down at that point. But, the great thing about that concert, though, the only great thing is she did sing a few songs, and it was very bare, just her and the piano. The singing, though, was beautiful. You guys have to look up Monica Naranjo. She's an amazing vocalist. It got me emotional, her music. Like I was crying when she hit those climaxes, the way she built. That girl can sing. I was hallucinating, seeing stuff that wasn't there. I was talking to my sister the whole time. She was trying to calm me down. I was telling her that I had like 1,000 thoughts per second. Like I could count my own thoughts while I was thinking them. This is the craziest trip I've ever had. And I had a few others like that where I was very panicked around what was going on around me. Like, there's times when I literally felt like I was gonna die that day. My heart rate started racing. It was awful, but after all those bad trips, I kept going back to it. And for the next 2 years, I kind of became a regular smoker. I even got a card. That's what I would do during my free time. It started to go so bad that I couldn't go anywhere without it. And while I was high, like, I just wasn't the same person. My boyfriend was with me. He was very supportive. But I guess I would neglect him many times. Like, I would choose to go smoke instead of just having a chill time with him. And like, I would get so high that I would do my own thing. Like, I would disregard him. And now that I look back, I just can't believe I didn't see that at the time while it was happening. Being high became my new normal. Like, I couldn't function if I wasn't high. I would even get high to go to work. And I was hypersensitive. When we were in choir, if people were not chill around me, I could feel their anxiety. It also made me become more understanding of what they were going through. It was different every day. I didn't know what high I was gonna get. I sometimes felt like my high was spreading, that even the director was tripping. So I did that for 2 years. Now the reason I stopped was because being high was my new normal. So I just couldn't do anything if I wasn't high. Because the after high effect, you know, when you get drunk and you have a hangover, well, I started feeling that with weed, but it was a lot. I was feeling a lot. Like, I was just not motivated at all to do anything. I would miss a lot of work because I woke up just feeling super not energized at all. That I would just miss work. Well, I did feel guilty about it, but it just kept happening and happening. It was also affecting my voice. Like, if I would smoke, let's say right before rehearsal, when singing, it kind of requires you to warm up maybe hours before the actual rehearsal or the actual performance. I would start this bad cough, serious smoker's cough during rehearsal. And I just wasn't fully there. I was almost being a crutch. It just wasn't right. I would stop smoking a few times, let's say I would give it up for a few days. The first day or two, it was always the hardest. Like, I would get headaches, I would get mood swings, and I just wasn't a fun person to be around. But after a few days, it got better. Like, I would start going to work again. I wasn't feeling so, it didn't feel so dramatic just going to work. I guess with weed, my anxiety grew worse. My depression grew worse because while I was high, I felt great, but the after effect, it just got too much for me to handle. That all I could do was stay home, sleep in, stay in bed. There were times where I wouldn't even get out of the house at all. That's pretty deep depression. I guess I didn't really notice all that until I saw other people going through it. And it really made me feel sad for them. The fact that they were kind of slaves to this drug, even though they were in deep self-denial. It didn't hit me that I was going through the same thing. So I finally gave it up. And it's been about a month or so, maybe a month and a half. I mean, I have slipped a few times. Like, I got offered edibles, I took them. And again, felt nice while I was doing it. I started giggling, feeling good. And the after effects just like it shut me off the whole next day. Like I had no personality, I had no patience towards anyone. It just wasn't good for me overall. So that is all for today. I guess the point of the story was that I'm still I'm still learning how to be sober since the past 2 years of my life. Like that was always something I could just go back to. So now I'm finding ways to not be dependent on it, and that's it. Learning how to be sober.